There has always been speculation amongst the fringe topic community at the probability of coincidence between the strange sightings of a large ape-like creature known commonly as Bigfoot or Sasquatch and the sightings of unidentified flying objects located in the same region. Though there are many that seem to refuse to engage in the conversation relative to this odd connection, there are important statistics to note about this strange correlation. So today, we will be looking over data and analysing the information as to the viability of the connection of Bigfoot and unidentified flying objects. After the creation of the independent organisation known as the Mutual Unidentified Flying Object Network, or MUFON for short, a lot of information was gathered about various sightings of UFOs and extraterrestrial activity, and data had been compiled for years about these different facts and connections made. Among these connections, the MUFON organisation made a startling realisation. There was mainly only 3 different extraterrestrial types that existed. The first most commonly cited extraterrestrial was referred to as the Greys, a species that was on average to be 3 to 4 feet tall, grey-skinned with large black eyes, small mouths, and large oval-shaped heads. They would commonly appear to be very humanoid in nature and are the most recognisable figure of alien life across popular media and mainstream science fiction works. The second most commonly seen extraterrestrial sighting were referred to as the Nords. The Nordic aliens were named as such given the fact that they appeared to be eerily similar to the description of Old Norse gods and of the Scandinavian people at large. Most witness accounts described these strange Nordic aliens as having a milky white complexion, brilliant blue eyes, white hair, and dressed in the apparel of white clothing, but appear in all other regard to look completely human. It is important to keep these 2 extraterrestrial sightings in mind because we will later be coming back to them. But most importantly, we need to look at the 3rd most common ET sighting, the Sasquatch. Many people who encountered strange UFO sightings wrote witness reports of saucers landing and a Bigfoot coming out, or encountering a Bigfoot in the forest only for it to disappear like a ghost and for moments later to see a nearby unidentified flying object to immediately take off into the sky. These cases also do not include single encounters with the Sasquatch and only include reports regarding a definitive extraterrestrial account. Could it then be that the Sasquatch is another race of extraterrestrials visiting our planet? Are they fascinated with forests rather than other areas given the fact that the majority of Sasquatch sightings are around forested locations? Our researchers have looked through the data and began making startling connections, not amongst UFO statistics, but rather of ancient mythologies found around the world. Many past ancient alien enthusiasts have made the potential connection between aliens and gods, positing forth the theory that perhaps the gods of the past were merely aliens guiding and influencing the evolution of our species. But another connection that has yet to be made has been found by our researchers during the statistical analysis of the Bigfoot project. The Sasquatch eerily fits the description of giants. Scattered throughout mythologies around the world is reference to creatures similar to that of the gods, but often regarded differently due to their large size. The Greeks referred to them as Titans, the Jews as the Nephilim, the Norse as giants. Even myths of the isolated Easter Island inhabitants and their religions talked about giants first inhabiting the region and constructing the massive megalithic structures referred to as the Easter Island heads. In fact, many megalithic structures from around the world are surrounded by myths of giants constructing them, including ancient hieroglyphics depicting giants walking amongst ancient Egyptians and their constructions. Many different religions, cultures, and mythologies from around the world provide information of their definitions and descriptions of these giants of the past that fit the modern-day descriptions of the Sasquatch. So what do these ancient myths tell us about the giants? The only record that provides the most detailed account of stories of giants inhabiting the forests and their special abilities comes from the legends and myths surrounding a mystical and enigmatic figure known as Merlin. Merlin wrote in countless details about a race of giants that appeared to be ape-like but were far more evolutionarily advanced compared to the human race and had been around since the time before humans. They predominantly lived in forest areas and had the ability to travel between different realms between the Earth and other various worlds. The descriptions provided by Merlin also appear to match that of modern-day Sasquatch in all likeness, including their size, hair, colour, behaviour, and their fascination with the forests of our world. Most important of all, however, is the fact that these creatures that Merlin encountered had the ability to travel interdimensionally between worlds using pockets and hidden areas on the Earth that allowed them to travel between realms similar to that of a secret wormhole or passageway in design. Interestingly enough, the idea of giants travelling between realms is not all that new and has a strange similarity to the Old Norse mythologies. Referred to as the Jotuns, the giants lived in two separate realms that were connected to Earth and fought against the Old Norse gods in terrible battles. This idea of gods versus giants is also not new in regards to Norse mythology. This was seen in the gods fighting against Titans in Greece, or the flood of the Ark in the Bible that was caused by God to destroy the Nephilim. But with Norse mythology, there is an added level of strange detail. The Norse told of 3 different races. The first that we all know of is humans. We live in the realm referred to as Midgard. In the realm known as Jotunheim lives the giants, described to be large and hairy and able to survive in the cold frosts of their world. In the realm of Asgard is the Norse gods, and in the realm of Svartalheim is the home of the dwarves. Here we make a startling comparison. The 3 most common sighted extraterrestrials fit the definitions of the Old Norse mythology of beings from other realms. The dwarves in Norse mythology were also known as dark elves. Why is this? Because they had grey skin. In many depictions of the dwarves, they also appeared to have large black eyes, small mouths, large oval-shaped heads, and were roughly 3 to 4 feet tall. They match the exact description of modern-day grey aliens. Not only this, but the dwarves were known to be masters of technology and helped to craft the hammer of Thor by utilizing materials in high density located at the center of a dying star, proving that they had intergalactic means of travel. Could it be that the dwarves in Norse mythology were the grey aliens? The second most common alien sighting, known as the Nords, exactly matches that of the Norse gods, with milky white skin, blue eyes, and overall human-like appearance. And lastly, the Norse mythologies of the giants directly matches that of the modern-day Bigfoot sightings. After understanding and making these strange connections, we find that the most important question begins to surface. What could this mean? Is it possible that perhaps our understanding of alien life has been wrong this entire time? That perhaps these beings are not extraterrestrial but interdimensional? More evidence is provided given the fact that not only is there undoubtedly a link between these Sasquatch creatures and sightings of unidentified flying objects, but the fact that so many reports of these 2 other alien species so closely match the Norse religion and their information regarding their mechanisms of travel, which was the ability to use a rainbow bridge that could take them between realities. This rainbow bridge, or rather a bridge using the prism of light, seems so familiar to early concepts of a wormhole theory known as the Einstein-Rosen bridge. The ability to warp space-time enough to manipulate gravitational waves and create an interdimensional means of travel, which would, in turn, allow the manipulation of light waves simultaneously. Though we may not have all the answers, there seems to be an obvious missing key to the information provided. If the Sasquatch correlation proves that there are other interdimensional species visiting the Earth and using it as a meeting place, or rather as a neutral ground, then could there still be a battle raging between these 2 advanced lifeforms to this day? Are there other potential species visiting as well? If this is truly an interdimensional means, then given the ideas of multiverse theory, could there be a potential infinite number of variations of ourselves amongst these universes, and that is what we are witnessing? Perhaps these grey aliens, these Sasquatch creatures, and these Nord-like advanced races are merely different potential evolutionary pathways we could have taken, and that would account for the reasons as to why each and every one of these alien races appear to be so humanoid in nature. Perhaps they were once human, and perhaps we share some common ancestor in our variant histories. Right now, not much more can be deciphered and understood from the research we have gathered, but we will continue to look through the data and make these connections that others have never made in the past. We appear to be on the verge of an extraterrestrial breakthrough and a better understanding of, perhaps, the interdimensional mechanisms of these creatures at large. But what do you think of this theory and these connections? Be sure to let us know by posting your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow our community and work to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.